Cleveland, the order in here will be Coach Lou, Kyrie, and then LeBron. Take questions for Klay. Over here on the right side on one.
Hello, Klay. I'm Paul Wang from the Sports Channel. 1 minute. This year you guys had a fancy start, 73 wins, and a huge comeback against OKC. Would you call this the best that you ever seen, and which part means the most to you?
Part that means the most to me is probably just our resiliency we, showed last series. Being down 3-1, we never really panicked when our backs were to the wall. We came together and we realized, we can't get all back in one day or one night. It's going to be a process, and I think we're much better from it. Believe it or not, we faced adversity throughout the 73-win season, not like we did last round. So when there's times are tough, we don't shy from it. We embrace them.
This side on the aisle.
Jacob Palmer, San Francisco Examiner. From your film study, what have you noticed? How is their new run and gun style similar to your own?
Well, obviously the volume of threes they shoot. They're playing with great spacing. They obviously have a guy who can get in the paint, or two guys who can get in the paint at will, in LeBron and Kyrie. That's similar to us because the ball, what I see with this team this year compared to last year, doesn't stick as much. They move the ball a lot better, and luckily for us, we got such a versatile team defensively. I think we'll be able to take away some of the action on the perimeter just because we got such a good, big, long switching team. But at the same time, just because you can switch screens and switch off-ball action doesn't mean you can relax, because they got a lot of good cutters as well, and just guys who know how to play the game.
Klay, having gone through the finals last year and everything that you guys did during the regular season this year, how much better a team are you than you were at this point during last year's finals?
Yeah, I think we're much better. I think we know what to expect on this stage, first off, and I don't think anyone's going to be nervous out there like we were last year. I think, including myself, a lot of guys are probably nervous for the first game, and it was obviously unfamiliar territory, but now we know what to expect, how every possession matters, and easy looks can be harder to come by. Fouls seem a little harder, and guys are just naturally going to be a little bit more tired, obviously playing 100 so games up to this point. But I think we're way better equipped this year than last year for what we're going to see and what we're going to go through, especially mentally too. Guys know what to expect, and even if it's our 12th to 15th guy, they're going to get called on, and they're going to have to produce at some point.
Tim in the back towards the center.
Tim Bondas from the Washington Post. Klay, you just kind of talked about it, but last year I know you had the concussion and some stuff during the playoffs, but how much more comfortable do you feel this year? Obviously, with Steph out, you've had to take on a bigger role, and it seems like you've really embraced it.
It's my second year in the coach's system as well, and I usually know I'm going to get my shots at. I know my role on this team as far as having to defend and run around a ton of screens, but I feel a lot more comfortable. I feel like it's my I'm drawing a blank here. It's my fifth or sixth. Never mind. But yes, a lot more comfortable. Sorry, long day.
Janie here in the front.
Klay, how have you seen Coach Kerr evolve over the last year? And maybe something he took from the finals that to build on. And one other question. For the Bay Area to have the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, can you feel a real buzz for the sports world here in this market?
I can. Since I've been in the Bay Area, we've been blessed with some great sports organizations and success. From when I was here, the Niners were so good. They were going to I think they're in the AFC or no, NFC. They're going to that championship game every year. They're playing the Super Bowl. The Giants obviously winning the World Series, and the Raiders make another resurgence. And obviously with the Sharks in the Stanley Cup, it's really cool. I think it's a great time to be a Bay Area resident, and we obviously have some of the best fans in the world. Doesn't matter what sport. That's why it's so fun to win here, because people really appreciate you when you play hard and you win for them. They show love, and that goes a long way, and it makes us play even harder.
far right.
Marcus Thompson, Barry News Group. Klay, can you talk about the relationship with Steph and the development over the years, and when did you realize you guys started, becoming one in a sense?
I was always a fan of Steph, even at Davidson. Just the way he plays the game. It's hard to find another player like him. I always talk about to him how he's the only man here left from when I was a rookie, and so I can imagine how he feels being here for his 7th year. It must be crazy, and we just continue to grow every year. I think I learn from him, he learns from me. We play each other's strengths. He knows where I like the ball. He knows, when I'm coming off a screen. He knows all the timing and everything. And I think my 5th year with him, I think we still have room to grow, believe it or not. And when it's all said and done one day, hopefully we can consider one of the better backcourts to play this game. I mean, it's a big statement, but we've talked about it before. I think it'd be really cool because, obviously we both shoot the ball well, and I think we both really have a passion for this game. That's why he's where he's at, and motivates me to get to his level.
Carl here on the left.
Klay, looking back at last year's finals, it's pretty amazing to see that you only scored 5 points in one game, 9 in another, 12 in one. What were they doing to you defensively, and what's changed now where that type of defense does not work against you? Because obviously Robertson covered you really well in the last series, and you were still able to get your points.
Yeah, I give him Robertson credit. He's a good defender. He's long. He's a great leaper, great shot blocker, and he made me work for all the buckets I got. But last year, at times I would defer to my teammates. They were playing great. Andre had a big guard him half the time, and he was going to work. And, I don't expect him to guard me any different this year. I expect him to play the same way on me, which is try to take away my three-point shot, run me off the line, make me, finish at the rim, which is fine. I think I've gotten better at, getting in there and making the right play. So for me, it's just about staying aggressive, doing what I've done these whole playoffs on both sides of the ball. And, whether I score 5 points or 30 points, as long as you get the win, it doesn't really matter.
Joe on your right.
Hey, Klay, Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. I'm not sure if you look at it this way, but when it comes to the face of the league, like the first guy that comes to mind when people think of the NBA, do you think that Steph has surpassed LeBron for that?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I think, honestly, it might be regional. I don't think people in the East get to see Steph play a lot because of the time difference, but the true basketball fans, they'll probably stay up and watch him because he's such a spectacular show to watch. But, LeBron's been doing it for, I think, 13 years now, 12, 13 years. I don't think there's just a face in the NBA. I think there's faces, and because I think it's such a star-driven league, and players really make the league because there's so many great athletes. But, I think it might be easier for the common fan to relate to Steph because it's hard to be, 6'8", 260 and have a 40-inch vert and run up and be the fastest guy on the floor. So, the casual fan might relate better to Steph because he doesn't have that athletic, just God-given ability. But it's tough to say. It's just personal preference, honestly.
Mark?
Klay, Mark Spears, ESPN. You have a great story on Steph as far as his competitive nature. And also, what do you think about some of the slaps he's gotten this year or hate that he's gotten this year?
I kind of expected it because he's doing it so differently, that it's kind of, obviously it's unconventional what he's doing. It's never really been seen before, a guy who can dominate the game of basketball